to welcome you to another session of tips and tricks. This time I'm inside the sketch environment in a part file, and I'm just going to show you a few tricks that you can use when sketching. I'm then going to add some geometry. Now at the moment, notice that I'm using the radius. I could, if I wanted, right click onto my context menu and change that back to diameter. Right now I need radius in this instance. So I'm going to have a 20 mm radius circle there. I'm going to have another one of 40, like so. So this one's going to have a 10 mm radius, and I want to align that to this projected geometry. Now I could go up to my constraint panel, but this is a tips and tricks session. So instead this time I'm going to hold down Control CTRL on your keyboard, and I'm then going to right click. And I've then got all of my geometrical constraints in my form of the marking menu and a context menu. So in this instance, I'm going to select the coincident constraint. I'm going to select the center of this circle, and I'm going to align it to the projected geometry that I pulled through from my origin planes. Okay. I then need to add further geometry to this sketch. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the slot command that can be found inside the rectangular drop down. I'm going to create a slot. Notice that the dynamic input's in place. When I go into a vertical alignment, it snaps into that vertical alignment, showing me with a 90 degrees angle, and I've also got the glyph that is used from the vertical geometrical constraint. I'm going to utilize my dynamic input because I want a 25 mm center to center, and I then need to pick my radius for my slot, which is going to be 5. What I'm then going to do is align it the same. So I'm going to use my coincident constraint, but instead of choosing it from the top, I'm going to hold down Control, right click, select coincident constraint, and I'm then going to align it again. Right click and OK. Again, I'm going to Control, right click, concentric. I want to make this concentric to the circle. What I'm then going to do is select the line command. I'm going to pick and place a line between the two circles, making sure I don't select the quadrant. I'm then going to hold down Control again, right click, and I've got my tangent constraint. And I can add that tangent constraint to them two pieces of geometry. I'm going to do the same at the other side. Okay, and I'm going to finalize this with a couple more dimensions. Just make sure I know what dimensions I've got there. Because I don't really like trimming geometry, I'm going to use the split command. Split command's been used in a couple of the tips and tricks sessions before, so I'm just going to split it here and here. And it allows me to select my geometry, turn it into construction lines, so I can keep the geometry, but only show the geometry that I require. Okay, now just to show you another little trick with the Control key, other than entering your geometrical constraints. So for anyone that's used AutoCAD, I've just started the line command, and you'll notice that it's a little bit more responsive than AutoCAD with regards to tracking lines. Now, if you've got your object snap tracking on in AutoCAD, you can hover over a point and drag it out, and it'll allow you to create these tracking lines, or use the tracking lines to align geometry very fast. Now, what if I don't want that? Again, if I just hold down the Control key, notice now the tracking line doesn't appear. If I let go of it, tracking lines appear. If I hold it down, the tracking lines disappear. If I'm drawing a sketch and I hold down Control whilst I'm utilizing that line command, notice that it doesn't then snap into the vertical position. If I let go of Control, it'll snap into that vertical position there, and it'll show me the vertical geometrical constraint glyph. If I hold down Control, that disappears.